Hey, welcome into the Let It Marinate podcast. I'm your host, Spicy.
I'm Drake.
I told him.
Welcome into episode 4, number 4.
What
Today we are going to be talking about something a little heavier, as we said. It is June. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health awareness is a big topic in general, but as you can see, 1, 2, 3 men host this podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we have all had our differing struggles when it comes to mental health, as you know, a lot of people have. So we will be mainly focusing on the men's mental health awareness part of the month. It's trigger warnings, I guess, right here in the beginning.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about experiences. We're going to talk about other things that have happened between, us and just stuff in general. Again, going to be a little heavier, not as light as our previous podcast, but we all believe that this is a major topic that does need more light shed onto it. It is still a big crisis for males, as we'll start it out with 80% of suicide deaths in the U.S. are men. I think we'll get into why we believe it is and some other statistics as we go along here. But just as you're listening to start out here, there is going to be some heavier stuff going on, and I hope you stick with us and just kind of listen and learn through experiences we had. And I hope that us talking about this and being vulnerable enough to share stuff that we've gone through, I hope that it can help. If anything, it'll help you, help someone realize that they're not alone, and that this is something that we all think needs more attention. So, anyone have any comments?
Very well said, Spicy.
Thank you.
Let's just go ahead and I'll start out with the first question. Both of you, and then I'll answer last.
Heard.
At what age do you think you were when you started feeling like there was something wrong that you just couldn't get off your chest? Or when you started emotionally going through things that you just kept bottled up?
For me, I would say it wasn't until I was older, as in an adult, pretty much, and I had my own responsibilities and things like that. Because as a kid, I went through some traumatizing things, seen some things as a kid, but at the end of the day, I was still just a kid. I didn't really understand anything like that. I still just went about my business and all happy-go-lucky. But as I got older, and I started really seeing how the world was and how tough it is to do things on your own, as far as, money and making sure that you're in a good spot and things like that. And then all the pressures of other things, as far as your setting surroundings, like drugs and things like that. I didn't really realize and really start dealing with anything until I was older. And that's when it all really started to hit me, because then I realized that I wasn't as strong as I thought I was, as to me being able to handle most things. And it all kind of just started to really get to me. I would say probably maybe my mid-20s is when it really started hitting me hard, and where I started to really figure out that I can't really do it alone, and maybe my personality isn't the type to handle things like this head on and be able to get past it on my own. So that's when I really started to really struggle with things mentally and emotionally. I was probably around my mid-20s, probably, I'd say.
Like Dre said, it really didn't hit me until I got older, a little later than Dre even. I guess I knew something was wrong, atmospherically, if that makes sense. Just around everything when I was younger, between probably my early teens And then I knew something was wrong in my 20s, but when I don't know what it was, but when I hit 30, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown. I ended up having to go to therapy to deal with some of the stuff and found out a whole lot. Super super big uh on therapy. I feel like anyone that
Hmm.
feels they need it should jump in and do it. It helped tremendously. But
Definitely.
yeah, it definitely later in life. I went through a lot as a kid with my parents. We'll touch on some of that as the pod goes on here. But my family, I'm guessing, would be the first to tell you. My immediate family would be the first to tell you that growing up, and I'll say at the age of 8 or 9 years old is when I started having to be kind of like the glue that kept a lot of things together in my family and taking care of my younger brother and my older sister. Um, so I kind of went into like a survival mode. My body was locked into like a survival mode, is what I found out from my therapist.
Hmm.
So when things finally got better in my life, my body was able to relax, and then all of a sudden, boom, all that trauma hit me like right then and there when I hit. I don't know. I don't think there's any significance about just the age of when it hit me, but just at that time is when things got better.
Hmm.
So from what my therapist told me was it was my body kind of just being like,
Like a weight off your shoulders kind of
and then
thing.
going, oh God, this is what we've been going through for these last however many years.
Hmm.
And then it's just it hit me really hard. You know, depression hit me really hard. Uh, anxiety took over really bad to the point where I was having super bad anxiety and panic attacks, and like I couldn't go out in public anymore. So the therapy, like I said, when I finally reached out to that, that helped a lot, and I'm doing much better now. You know, still have
Right.
episodes of certain things because it's only been 3 years since I've been out of doing the therapy stuff. But
Uh,
yeah, a little later in life.
okay. I think I think mine probably started around like age, I want to say 14 to maybe 16. And I think at the time it wasn't really affecting me because when you're a teenager and like it's either like you're hard-headed or whatever, but it's just like a lot of teenagers have that I don't give a fuck attitude,
Yeah,
personality wise. And
angst.
um I was living with my dad at the time, and he showed like absolutely no care into my schoolwork. So it built that, okay, if you don't care, why the fuck do I care?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Yeah,
why am I what am I doing it for? Like you're not asking me, oh, how was school? Like, got any homework? How was your test? You got any projects? Like anything going on? None of that. So it was like, okay, so I'm gonna do me. And it got to the point where I was getting suspended so much that no, sorry. I was getting in school suspension so much for certain things, and he never bothered to ask. Again, you don't check in with school, so you don't know these things. So it went from in school suspension to literally out of school suspension. And then the out of school suspensions racked up so much that the school was like, hey, if you get suspended one more time, we're just gonna expel you.
damn.
So yeah. Um I used to tell my ex as well as my mom stories like that. And they would both tell me, oh, you should probably have a conversation with your dad. You probably have, and I didn't like this term at the time, but they was like, you probably have father issues, daddy issues. And I didn't like it. And I was just like, I could care less. Like, I don't think even at this age in my life and going through therapy, do I ever still want to sit down with that man and like talk about what the fuck it was like being in the house at that time. Um, but after that, I think I was pretty chill. Anything emotionally that got to me was just financial issues. Um, but then I took a huge turn for the worse within like this last year. So between like 30 and 30, so between 30 and now, and that just had to do with a breakup after 6 years. Like
Yeah, that'll get you.
at first I was so cool with it because I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do me. And that didn't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm gonna go be with other women. It's just like I don't have to
Find
worry
yourself.
about, yeah, it wasn't even like I had to worry about like, oh, if I came home late, I'm gonna get questioned,
Yeah.
or I didn't have to, just watch my actions. And then I think for like the first 3 months, it was cool. And then 5 months in, it was just like, okay, I'm feeling something. And then as of just like from the end of last year to now, I just been spiraling and went to therapy for it. I mean, I feel like I still do need to go back to therapy. I don't think I'm done at all,
I kind of feel the same way with that.
but I definitely want to go back because there are some more things that I need to talk about and still discover about myself and how to cope with certain things. Because do you guys have any coping methods? I know Spicy, you do.
Yeah, I breathing techniques for anxiety. I'm gonna pull it up right now because I want to say the name of it right away. It's known as the natural tranquilizer method. It's the 478 technique. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for seven, and then you breathe out it through your mouth for eight. And during that time too, you kind of like pick things around the room while you're holding your breath to try to reset your brain, you know? So like if I was sitting in my room right now and I was doing it and holding my breath, I'd my stuff back there, I'd be like Iron Man, football cards, Cowboys, Spider-Man, lights. Just like pick things to just kind of like reset your brain, kind of help you slow your heart rate. You're taking your mind off that topic because you're just at random, just rapid firing, and then the
Hmm.
breathing, of course, to slow your health or your heart rate down. Um, Also just kind of like I mean, and for me specifically, um, just kind of like like the weighted blankets.
Yeah.
I've heard about those as well.
I'll ask my I don't have one myself, but I'll ask my like, and this is another thing I'll talk about in a little bit in the episode with it, but um I'll ask my wife or my kids to just come and like hug me and squeeze me as hard as they can and just hold it there for a little bit because that helps
Hmm.
me just kind of like whoo, bring you back to reality. But
Right.
those are kind of the big things that I do for comfort.
As far as me, I don't really think I really have any coping mechanisms, which is crazy to say because I mean, even now, I haven't really been. Maybe in one of the earlier episodes, I think I touched on the fact that I had disappeared for a little bit from streaming and things like that because I had gotten into a pretty bad place again. But I don't really think I've had any coping mechanisms, which is bad for somebody who's going through something mentally, because you kind of really don't know what's happening or like how to get out of it or how to
Hmm.
mentally fix it. Um,
Hmm.
and then you know what I mean. It's kind of just up to you to kind of figure it out one day. But at the same time, like I've never been to therapy or anything like that. Uh, I've always thought about it, but I just never have. So
Pull it, dude.
as far as coping, I have no idea. Like even now when I have my bad mental health days where I'm kind of in my own head and stuff like that, I tend to I mean, I'm a very bad texter or to answer people back and things like that in general. But I shut up, told him. But as far as like when I have those days, I'm even worse, and I kind of tend to disappear for a day, kind of just sulk in my bed and do whatever, you know what I mean? But uh, I had tried different things back when I was really down bad, like when I had my drug problems and things like that. But those were also bad coping mechanisms because I used to, harm myself and things like that. So, yeah, man,
Well,
just,
get some good ones. They're free, buddy.
well, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I never had any coping mechanisms, which is probably why it was so tough for me to really kind of get out. Because I'm also not one of the people to really like reach out, even though obviously it's a lot easier to reach out and talk to people about things, and it's better for you.
It's so hard.
But it is hard because I'm one of those people that I feel like I could just do it on my own, and I'll figure it out. And I don't want to burden you with my problems. You know what I mean? Like, I know you got enough going on as it is. Like, and I say you like as anybody in general, like no one specifically, but like, but the moment you do say something to somebody, the first thing out of their mouth is, well, you should have came to me sooner. Like, why didn't you say something sooner? Like, I'm here for you. And it's like, oh, well, I thought about it, but,
But I have dumb thoughts.
yeah, I'm just, my name is Dre and I'm an idiot.
And
You
then
know
I'm
what I
an
mean?
idiot.
Like,
Told him you got any?
Definitely.
Because before you start real quick, after you give us yours, I want to touch on a topic that I find infuriating that has to do with what Dre had just talked about. So,
okay.
So I kind of I don't want to call it a coping mechanism, but I agree with Dre in the sense that I don't really have one, and the way that I go about my episodes is I just disappear.
Oh yeah,
I'm gone.
we know.
I'm gone. Like, um, I think this was shortly after you came back to streaming, right? And then I remember exactly what it was. I'm not gonna talk about it right now. I'm not like right now. I don't mean like just in this episode, just like not right now.
yeah,
But
you're good.
something had happened, and I know the way the person said it wasn't how I took it, but your the way you think usually sometimes overpowers a lot of other rational thoughts and all. So I took it the bad way, and so I was like, okay, fuck. And then I kind of just decided to distance myself from everybody. Um,
I know I hit you up every day for a week.
mhm. So when you did that, that meant a lot because it wasn't just like, oh, I'll text you on Monday and then I'll text you again on Thursday. Like it was every day. It
And
was a Monday.
every message
it was
was,
Tuesday.
I miss you, boo boo. Worry about you, boo boo.
Yes.
Hope you're good, boo
Like
boo.
I still have the whole thread and all of that shit. So that definitely meant a lot.
Mm.
But just going ghost is my coping. There are other things I wish I could do in the moment that would probably help. Like if I don't have to work tomorrow, fuck it. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to the beach. I'll drive to the beach. I'll go sit in front of the goddamn water in the dark and
Calm it down. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and just let the sounds of the
that's
wave
beautiful.
just. So that's
That's a
one
good
thing
one.
I wish
That is
I
a
wish
good
I
one.
would do that more often. But I'm like, let me not take my car in
I'll
case
probably
something happened
take a
out
drive
there.
down to McDonald's instead of.
Hey man, sometimes eating is people's coping.
And again, everyone that's listening and watching, this is first and foremost a comedy podcast. We are gonna do what we can to make light of things when we can. So the laughing and stuff like that isn't mocking anything. It's just kind of
At the end of the day,
we're gonna be serious. But
we're
not
all
gonna be
very
too
close
serious.
friends at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
So when it
yeah.
comes to stuff that we're talking about together, we can do it in a friendly manner because we're all very close. So
Um, so what I wanted to say was kind of touching on what like Dre was saying with his stuff about how it took him a long time to reach out to people and how he doesn't want to burden other people when he feels the way that he does. And, you know, I'm guessing for the most part you guys are like me to where you are more helpers yourself with people that have issues, but you don't seek out the help
oh
yourself.
yeah, I'm 100%. Do I'll put other people before myself all the time.
Okay, so what I wanted to the thing that it absolutely just it just makes me so mad is the manly man mentality
No, yeah,
that
yeah,
the whole cultural stigma behind you're a man, rub some dirt on it, no one wants to hear it,
just deal with it.
hike them up, deal with it right now.
Throw some balls.
Um, I grew up in a very strict military family, like generational military. Um, you shut the hell up about your feelings. You don't do that. You don't you're a man. You don't show weakness, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
you push them,
Push them down.
push those sissy feelings that you have. You got to push them down.
Yeah, and that's
You
that's
get those.
that took me a bit to, understand that I'm allowed to have feelings.
Yeah, 100%.
I am a man. I provide for my family. I will protect my family through anything. I'm tough. I did the football. I did jujitsu. I did Muay Thai. I did, I can be a man and still cry.
Yeah,
Um, and that's one thing that I'm really trying to like push on my son right now. Not necessarily push on my son right now, but just let
Let them know
him
it's
know
okay.
it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But it's also that fine line for me, especially with the generations coming out right now, of not being too soft with certain things. And what I mean by that is the way that I explain it to my son, who's 8, is, buddy, you're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to, everything. But not over everything. So what we've done is we've taught him is that worth your tears? So like, for example, um, he'll get really flustered if like he's filling his cup up at the fridge for fridge water, and then he spills a little bit. He'll get really upset with himself because he had an accident, and then he'll like cry about it. And that's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, buddy, it's an accident. You're allowed to be upset that you did it, but you don't need the tears. That's not
yeah.
one of those things where you need the tears. Just emotional regulation is what we're trying to teach him more than anything. So,
Right.
and like trying to tell him the difference between that instance is okay to have to be upset about because you spilt water and you got to clean it up. Who's not going to be upset about that?
Yeah,
But you don't need to get overboard with it. So
yeah,
I think that's one of those things that needs to be taught more. But at the same, but more than anything is that men, boys, every age in general, you're allowed to have fucking feelings, man. Like you're
yeah,
allowed to do it because if you bottle them up and you don't express yourself the way that you should in a positive, not positive manner, but like regulation manner to where not overreacting because when you build up and you build up, those little things are going to make you overreact and then
yeah.
it's going
It
to
could.
turn into something bigger,
Exactly. The smallest thing could end up being something major when it
huge.
doesn't have to be.
And then you look like a jackass to people. You feel like a jackass because you know that you shouldn't have exploded over what you just exploded over. And I've been guilty of that many times
Oh yeah.
with holding stuff in and kind of blowing up on my kids or my wife or my brother or anybody around me that didn't deserve it, but it was just my breaking point of that day because I was taught to just push, like Dre said, push those down.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be a sissy. Told them, like you said, grow a pair of balls.
Yeah,
You know,
and the thing too, spicy is like you said you keep bottling all that up and you don't talk about it, get it out. Then it could lead to even more serious things like being one of those adding to that percentage of
100%.
deaths in
And
America.
That's so that right there is one of the things that absolutely drives me crazy, that to this day I still hear people teaching their kids, or just I have some people I've talked to that are like, "Oh, I'm not going to get help because I'm a man."
Bro, I cry pretty
It's
much every
not.
goddamn day.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying.
you
Like
know what I
I'll have
mean?
a good cry. Yeah, sometimes
Like,
I'll just have a good cry because it
I
helps.
just,
It's a release. It's a release of emotion. You're a human being
yeah.
first and foremost. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify as. It doesn't matter. First and foremost, we are fucking human beings, dude.
Yeah.
We are complex creatures that have these emotions that, if not regulated correctly or taught to regulate correctly, this is why we have these statistics. And
And that's why you have, people that, go to do certain things like, people that have trauma end up being like serial killers and like,
yeah,
and
or
commit crimes and
continue the cycle.
or they turn to drugs thinking that it's going to help them cope. And it's like, if they just had a better circle and support system around them, a lot of these things might have been
'Cause
different and lives
I
might have been
can't
changed.
I can't speak. Oh, I told him sorry. I didn't see you had your hand up there, bud. What do you
No,
got?
no, no. You good. Finish
Are you
finish
good?
that real quick.
I thought he actually had his hand up, but I'm like, it's so dark. It's so dark on your camera, bro. It's so dark on your camera, bro. Like I can't see shit.
No, no, no. It
um,
darkened because I was getting ready to pull up a video, but I'll let y'all finish that.
Okay.
So that's funny. I thought he
Where's his hand?
The-
Where'd Totem
Beep.
go?
Oh shit! I fucked up my shit.
but I can't speak to everywhere else in the world, but the fact that the US itself is just so, there's not the funding and the research into mental health, and like just like the help that we have is still not on par to where it needs to be, man. Like,
And honestly, people in America are the problem at the end of the day. Social media is a huge problem because it gives a lot
Yep.
of people a voice
FOMO.
that honestly shouldn't have one, because people can be very, very rude and very mean and say the worst things about people online and in video game voice chats, and it's just sometimes it's better just to not say anything at all. Like the old saying goes, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say
shut
it.
the fuck up.
Yeah, then don't say anything at all. Like
Real quick before I told him hits this video. So to end my little rant on that about why I hate that so much, two things. 60% of the suicides by men in the US are by men who have had zero previous documented mental health conditions, which means they did not go to get help, which means they didn't go to talk to anybody, because the stigma that is around it, I'm guessing, is a big majority of that percentage of just bottling up until you cannot take anymore. So my big message off of that rant to anyone listening or watching is suck it up and get the help, man. Like, it's swallow your pride. You can still be a man. You can still provide. You can still be tough with appropriate vulnerable moments. There is nothing wrong with it. And to the people that say that, no, you're a man and buck up, it's like, you gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
It leads to nothing good. So, all right.
Go ahead,
Rant done.
So this video that I'm getting ready to show you guys, it's based off of kind of what Dre was talking about, like just keeping things bottled up. So this is a clip from a anime called Naruto. In this scene, the guy that you're gonna see cry, what had happened was his teacher got killed, and instead of expressing his emotions and letting out all of the sorrow and everything that he's bottled up, he just, went ahead and continued life like nothing happened, while still, knowing what happened. But he had a talk with his dad, and I'll let you guys just see it from here. All right, y'all can see that?
Yep.
All right.
Now, Asuma is dead.
Just what are you getting at here?
Only the truth.
Will you shut your mouth? All this talking is making me sick. Say what you want. I'm still nothing but a useless coward.
You're wrong.
What do you want from me?
Let it out, boy. All of the anger, the sadness, and the fear, everything that's brewing inside of you, you've got to let it go. It all starts from there, son. I'll be here for you.
So, so in terms, I don't even want to really touch the whole anime topic, but like that show alone has hit more places than I ever thought a show could. Um, like the older I got, the more certain scenes meant to me, and I was really able to understand it. But like every time I see that episode, it's so fucking true because it's just like you just keep bottling things up, and it's just like you want somebody to tell you it's okay, let it out. But 9 times out of 10, are you really gonna find that person to tell you, hey, it's okay, and I can be your safe person to come to when you're dealing with shit like that. So I don't know. It's just one of those relatable clips to me.
That was extremely relatable in the fact that my very first therapy session that I did, I got in with my therapist and I ugly cried for a good 15 to 20 minutes before anything else was said. And then as soon as I stopped, because it was just a wave. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to talk to somebody about this and everything and try to figure this out. And it just was like, I just felt like this big pressure and it just, boom, it happened uncontrollably. And my therapist afterwards goes, so you need to be here. So definitely relatable.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing too, is a lot of people, think like, oh, it's just animes are just cartoons for adults, and it's like at the end of the day, a lot of these animes hit on, and that's honestly why a lot of us adults watch them, because they do touch on a lot of topics and a lot of relatable things in real life. And that's how and honestly, that's just good storytelling at the end of the day, because you end up connecting with these characters and then you fall in love with them. And that goes for like video games too. Like, I love Final Fantasy VII, for example, is my favorite. And I love the world and characters in there. And there's so many relatable things when you dig deeper into the story. The same thing with like Bleach as well. It's like just same thing for me as well. Like I relate to a lot of the things that happen, and you can find things everywhere in the world that you can relate to as far as things you deal with in life, that, even if it comes from a fictional setting, it can still help, and you can still realize like, oh, this is actually a thing that other people deal with as well, which is pretty crazy, Also, just side note, for anybody watching, I know this isn't really the background setting for an episode like this, but at the time of recording, I literally just did my birthday subathon stream. So Yeah, that's why I'm just too lazy to fucking take that shit down. So that's why that's still up. But yeah, just a quick little side note. Told him, put your damn hand down.
What? Oh,
Yeah, I've been trying to message you on 3 different things.
on what?
Oh, this
On here,
on the
in
chat
the
in the
chat,
studio.
in Discord, and on the studio.
He probably doesn't even have the chat open.
I
in
don't
the
know.
studio.
I didn't.
So,
Do you guys
Yeah, no,
want to
that-
try to delve into more individual stuff as like some of the
yeah, I think we should
deeper
give
stuff,
a little bit of
or-
background of what we want
So-
to.
As for the individual stuff, I think for me, I'm going to save that for the next episode because otherwise I'll just end up saying the same thing twice. And I don't necessarily want to spend all my time on the same topic. Not the same topic, but
Just
So-
repeat
saying
yourself
So
in
what you're
general.
saying is a
Otherwise-
lot of the mental stuff that you deal with has to do with the topic
my
of the next.
recent,
Yeah. Okay.
So I'd rather kind of just, by all means, I will definitely listen to you guys. And
Word.
if you say something relatable,
He'll
then,
raise his
I'll
hand.
definitely
He'll raise his hand and then
and
keep
forget to
it.
put it back down.
Keep it
He's like
raised.
that one kid like this. Please.
Pick me, pick
Yo, that was a. Have you ever seen a punishment like that? I literally just saw a video. I think it was on Facebook, and it was a punishment without physical contact. So a dad made his daughter. Don't know what the reason was, but for her punishment, he made her lean against the wall,
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
squat, and hold her arms out.
Yeah.
And she was just
Wall
wailing.
sits,
I
baby.
don't know.
Wall sits, baby.
That's
Guess
rough.
that for football practice. Jay, do you wanna go first with your stuff, or
I mean, yeah, I can go first. So like I was saying before, as a kid, I had seen some things obviously that it could be pretty traumatizing as a kid that I didn't really realize was that big of a deal. I just, it is what it was. But like, my dad is an alcoholic. I say is because he still is to this day. But when I was younger, he used to drink more hard stuff, and then he used to get pretty violent. And then I've seen him. And don't get me wrong, I love my dad. But I used to see him. He used to be very violent towards my mother when I was a kid. One memory that sticks out in my head specifically that, and it's weird because I don't really remember a lot from my childhood, like just in general. Like there's the very specific memories I do remember, and this is one of them that like. It was just a random night. I don't remember how old I was, but I was young. I don't even know if I was 10 yet. But my mom and dad were arguing. My dad had been drinking. And I remember looking into the kitchen and like seeing like my mom like up against the wall, and my dad like had his hand on her throat and stuff like that. And like my mom like broke a phone over his head, which is pretty funny.
that's wild.
But my mom don't play no
heavy
shit.
ones.
Dude, my mom don't play no shit. We had like some of the heavier ones because this was when I was.
I was
This
gonna say,
wasn't
the-
this wasn't even
those-
2000 yet, so we were still in the 90s.
The good phones.
And then she had hit him over the head with a phone or whatever, and then like she like picked me up and my brother, and we all left because my aunt had lived not too far away down the street at the time. And I just remember like she's crying, he was yelling, me and my brother were crying, and then like we were just walking. I don't have no shoes on. Like she just picked me up, but like when we went to my aunt's house or whatever. And it's just like that wasn't like the only like time where my dad got violent and stuff like that as a kid. I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with my mental struggles now, but at the same time,
I would say probably.
but at the same time, like, I mean, granted, I think it does because obviously I'm at the end of this year, I'll be 3 years sober.
Hell yeah, good
because-
shit, Trey.
So, because I also had a problem
Proud of you.
for a while with the alcohol thing, which obviously I know where I get that from. but my dad's is a lot better now, and he's been a lot better for a while. He still drinks, but he doesn't drink hard stuff anymore. But yeah, I'll be sober, but like obviously that as a child, no child should see that kind of stuff in their home regardless, but like for me, I think where it really started getting crazy was when in like my mid 20s, like I said, where responsibilities and financials started getting into it, on top of, you know, my love life, which was in shambles because every girl I'd ever been with up until that point had cheated on me, and uh things like that. So it's just like
Bitches.
just a ton of just bad things in general had happened, and then like I started developing a drug problem, uh where I was just doing all kinds of things, not just, you know, not just like smoking weed or anything like that, but like I was blowing lines and doing, you know, perks, addies, xannies, anything I could get my hands on while drinking at the same time, drinking at work, and like
Mr. Party Time.
dude, it was bad. It was bad. And I think that's really where things started really changing for me, because at that time I turned into a completely different person. Like, and looking back at it now, like I didn't like who I was becoming and the way things were happening, and I burnt a lot of bridges with people because of things, you know, that I was doing and whatever. But like, it was just a very bad time, and it put me into a very bad place because I had to cut off a lot of people and really change my life entirely. And I did drink at that time when I was doing that, but like the drinking really didn't start getting really bad until I left that whole scene and quit doing all that stuff cold turkey, because then I kind of replaced one vice with another. You know what I mean? So it's like I started really drinking really heavily instead of doing all that other stuff. But as far as the mental health stuff goes, I remember specifically I was living in a place that you pay bi-weekly. It was called the YMCA. It was where it was called, and it was a place for basically recovering drug addicts and like, you know, people who were still on drugs and this and the other thing. And it was just a horrible place. It was like roach infested, just disgusting. But like I had no place to go, and that was the only place I can afford given at the time. That's when I really started getting really bad, drinking myself to sleep, and, you know, hating my life and hating myself, hating everything about it, to where I would cut myself, and, you know, because I felt like I didn't really feel anything. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to do this so I can feel something, you know? And then I remember just always crying by myself. And then I remember I sent a picture, no warning, no nothing, just a picture of my arm completely cut up. And actually, I mean, I was looking the other day and like you can kind of see some of the scars still that I left on my arm from it, but just sent a picture of my arm bleeding from with like 10 different cuts on it from, sent it to my brother, my oldest brother, and just didn't say anything or whatever. But he messaged me back right away, and he was like, "Bro, like, what's going on? Talk to me." And I didn't really have any answers for him at the time. You know, I didn't know what it was. I just was not. I was just sick of everything, sick of life, sick of. But at the end of the day, I looking back at it now, I know that it was the decisions that I was making and the choices that I was deciding to do, that was the problem. But I didn't know how to fix it. Didn't know if I was strong enough to fix it at the end of the day. So I ended up getting out of there. But like that was probably one of my lowest times I've ever had in my life, to the point where I definitely was thinking about deleting myself, shall we say. So, and not too many people know that about me. So yeah,
Well, everyone's gonna know.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, you know, but at the same
I'm
time,
proud of you.
it is what it is. And like, obviously now, like I have my own issues as far as when I disappeared and things like that. Like, but I mean, I tend to deal with it a little better now. I'm a very sensitive person at the end of the day, so I don't mind, crying a little bit every now and again. Um, but as far as I think that was probably the lowest I think I've ever been in my life. But I'm definitely in a better place now. I have a better support system with these two lovely individuals you see here, and then obviously there's people like my brother, like Mel, who I talk to a lot when something is wrong. Um, so yeah, I have a lot better support system now. So it's just at the end of the day, if you have anything going on, like the thoughts that you have where you think you can't get better or you can't fix it or you feel like you should give up, those aren't that's not the way to go about it. That's definitely not the answers you're looking for. The answers you're looking for are in the people that you hold near and dear to you. Even if it's only one person in your life, reach out to that person because trust me, they want to help you just as much as you want to help yourself. So don't staying quiet is never the answer. And don't ever think that this world would be a better place without you because it won't. And the people that you love the most won't benefit in any way if you weren't here. So, never ever think that that's the answer at the end of the day because I thought about it and tried it a few times and I'm glad I failed because there's no place I'd rather be than still here with the people that I love the most. So don't ever think that you're alone in this, and don't ever think that you not being here is the best outcome for yourself or for anybody else involved.
This man about to make me cry.
I can hear it in his
Proud
voice.
of you.
Yeah,
Proud
man.
of you, Dre.
We love
I'm
you,
very,
bro.
very proud of you. Love you. Very, very brave of you to share. No, it is. It is. It's huge. Yeah, look at that big boy. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got to add to that, Told?
So mine is just real short. It's not a story or anything. I just wanted to go ahead and reiterate that there are many different forms of going through it. As you've heard, Dre had the more extreme, and I might have
Was that
the
extreme?
lesser. Shit.
It's a little bit.
We'll be Kenya.
It won't feather light. Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've also had the relationship side of it too, as to where that
So
has
that's
also
what I was
played a
getting ready
mental
to-
factor as well. But I figured the other side of it was probably more important to touch on right now.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
There's just multiple reasons you could be going through a spiral. So it could be family related, it could be relationship related, it could be financial. It could there's just many different ways. So don't ever feel like what you're going through is less important than what somebody else is going through.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
All of that
Your
shit is
problems
equaled out.
are big enough. If it's a problem, it's a big problem for you.
It's
Exactly.
just
Don't
as
Let anyone
important as
tell
the
you
next one.
differently.
It's just as important as the next person's issues.
So go ahead, Spicy.
I'm very proud of you, Jay, for coming out and saying all that stuff.
Honestly,
And,
for real.
takes a lot.
Yeah, of course.
But this is also part of that healing process is realizing
Talk
and
about
being
it.
able to explain and talk about it and look back on it and know that you learned from it. And this kind of goes off of that little rant that I had before, is like this is what you should do. This is a thing that I think men should do with friends that are close.
Start a podcast.
Talk about problem. No, but no, like you can have a group of friends, and I know that I can come to you two anytime I need to, and just be like, hey man, I need to talk because I'm having a down day. Like you should
100%.
have those people, and use them for that, But and always
That's
be
kinda-
available to hear other people. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I told you guys the other day, where I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going away for another week.
Yeah, we told you.
And then y'all was like,
Now
yeah.
it
we'll
out.
drive down to
Talk it out,
Florida
boy.
right now.
But so I'm. Yeah, this is weird being this vulnerable for this too, but like I got to take my own advice with it.
So why do you think I was looking down the whole time?
That's what
bro?
I'm saying, dude. But a lot of my trauma that I went through was brought on to by my parents for sure. Um, and like I said, I was telling you guys earlier, I did talk to them. I called them earlier, let them know I was gonna spill some stuff here, but
Mm.
not bad mouthing anybody. This was my life experience, and if it hadn't happened, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to be the father that I am to my kids because overall, what I tell my dad a lot, because going through what I'm gonna explain here in a little bit, my dad, you know, kicks himself all the time about it, saying that he wasn't there to teach me anything. And you know, I mean, as shitty as it sounds, I tell him all the time is like you told me what not to do. You taught me how not to be with my kids, you know.
Yeah.
My parents, when my dad had gotten out of the military and we had moved up north to Minnesota, my dad and my mom got involved with the meth scene. I was about 8 or 9, like I said. My sister's only about a year and a couple months older than me, and then my brother is 6 years, a couple months younger than me. So that timeline, my brother was about 2, 3. I was about 8, 9. You know, and my sister would have been like 10, 11-ish. So, my sister's kind of the person that like she kind of like did the ignore tactic, like pretended things weren't really a big deal sometimes. Was kind of quiet about it. But that was her way of dealing with things. Obviously, my brother was too young to really be any kind of part of knowing what was going on. So it kind of fell on me to pretty much become the caretaker of my sister and my brother. Again, I was about 8 or 9 years old, and the meth thing was pretty bad. You know, we lost homes over it. My dad would get violent, just like Dre said, with my mom sometimes. At that age, my parents would leave us alone at home for like, you know, 4 days, 5 days at a time. So I felt like it was on my shoulders, like I said, to kind of take care of everything. And, you know, like I always joke around. I said, I think that's why I'm a chef now, because I used to have to cook all the meals for my for my sister and my brother and stuff.
You was chefing early,
I
baby.
was chefing early. But even like to this day, my brother will tell you that he thinks that I'm almost, probably not so much now, because like overall, my parents are doing so much better now. My
That's
dad
good.
has been sober for, oh my God, like 12, yeah, like 12, 15 years between
Oh, yeah.
that. So something like
Big
that.
W.
Big step. Big
Big
W on
W.
him. Yeah. But it got to a point to where like I think I was forced out of childhood.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna
was
say that earlier too. Like at that age, your childhood's kind of taken away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forced to grow up very early.
And yeah, and that's what my my sister always jokes around with. I love Legos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my sister jokes around. She's like, "You're a big kid because you know you were at that point to where you had to grow up, and now you're kind of making up for your
You
know,
didn't get
the lost
Legos
time
when
that
you
I
were a
had."
kid.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
But so yeah, I felt like I felt like, and it was like talking through therapy, like I was forced to grow up. I was forced to be more of an adult, more mature than what I was. So like balancing that with the issues going on with my family, trying to go to school, trying to take care of my little brother, trying to, you know, seeing my sister was okay because she was just silent through a lot of it, you know what I mean? Losing, we had a foreclosure on a house. We moved constantly because they couldn't keep a job, you know, they'd sell our stuff. They, you know, just money for this, money for that, gone all the time, doing the dumb shit that they were doing. They weren't really there. And it got really bad for my dad. I think so my dad's dad, we don't really talk to him. He's a terrible human being. But my dad's grandfather was more of a father figure to him, and when he passed, I think that's like when my dad really hit rock bottom and it got really bad. So after that happened, it was just, you know, I watching my parents and their domestic disputes. My dad go to jail. You know, I watched my dad be put into handcuffs many times. I watched my dad get tased by police officers many times because of the meth rage. You know, he's smoking it, he's using it, and he's doing all that. You know, um, and then fast forward a little bit, my mom and my relationship got really rocky too, because you know my mom wasn't there when she should have been for that kind of, you know, growing up. A little boy wants his mom, you know, like it's just kind of what it was. And this just both of my parents, just in general, our relationships went to shit. You know, my dad and I, we got into altercations. Him and I got in a fist fight one time.
Yep.
You know, he tried to kick me out of the house, and I'm bigger than my dad, so I wasn't able to let him push me around. But you know, like it was bad. The amount of times he told me to just leave, get out of the house, you know, get out of here, and the stuff that was said, you know, just beats you up mentally. And having to kind of just like the way that my therapist said it to me was, it was my body was basically just put into a survival mode. So I kind of just compartmentalized a lot of everything that was happening and just kind of set it aside, because my mission, like I said, was to make sure that me and my sister and my brother survived, made it through what we had to. Fast forward into when me and my wife had started dating. I also had gotten into experimenting with drugs more. So I've been smoking weed since I was 15. I don't really count that as much as but you know, like I was blowing lines as well. I was on the Adderall. You know, I fucked around with psychedelics, you know, because like I read about how it could reset you and do that kind of stuff. You know, I did the hearts, nothing too much harder than that, like none of the heroin or anything like that, because I knew to stay away from more of that heavy stuff because of my parents going through it, you know. But hiding that from my now wife at the time, who was, you know, we had just gotten engaged, and she had no idea that I was doing this kind of stuff behind her back, and I was like, did not want her to find out. She knows everything now. No, there's no secrets now, but I felt like I had to hide it to try to get some kind of peace and, you know, kind of level myself out. And then once I stopped doing that kind of stuff, same thing happened with me with Dre, is I started drinking heavily.
Yeah.
And it was even worse because I was in college at the time when my wife and I were engaged. So it was a lot of partying, you know, so that masked a lot of my issues with me not thinking that I was an alcoholic at the time. Because, you know, it's just a party, you know, it's a college party. We're having fun.
Right.
But like, you know, my party tricks would be like, the Keystone Light up here was like the big thing. I could crush a 30 rack real quick and be fine for the rest of the night. My other big party trick that my buddies would be like, do the thing. You know, I'd take a 175 of Jack Daniels and I'd house that some bitch and be good. You know what I mean? Like it got to that point. And then the big eye opener on that one was my wife, fiance at the time, took her engagement ring off, threw it at me and told me, figure it out. So that one had me, you know,
That'll do it.
I was like, oh shit. So I stopped drinking as much as like that curbed my drinking. To this day, I will have a beer or like a mixed drink ever so often. I don't drink too much anymore. But yeah, that was really bad. And then my parents were going through their divorce. They finally divorced after everything that happened. My dad was kind of psychotic at the end of everything because of the drug use. I had walked in on him trying to kill himself a couple times.
Damn.
That messed me up pretty bad. One of the ones that sticks in my head is I walked in and he was using a screwdriver to stab himself in the wrists with, and that one messed me up pretty good.
Jeez, man.
But it was just that crazy thing about going back to like men not getting the help that they need, because what he told me was he was just trying to show my mom how much she was hurting him. And it just like didn't make sense to me at the time. It was like, why would you do that kind of thing? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
So that happened, and my dad ended up going to treatment right after they got divorced. And me and my mom were not in a good relationship, and she started seeing another guy shortly after who's now my stepfather, he's a really cool guy. We get along, and my mom and my relationship is a lot better now.
Yeah.
But it was just a really bad thing. Like, you just left my dad. You guys were this, and this, and it was just really bad. That took a really big toll on me. I started not doing anything, going out. I gained like 70 pounds because I was just eating and staying inside, not doing anything. My dad was doing really good, and then he relapsed. He got out of treatment, and he was good for a little bit. Then he relapsed, and he lied about it, and the whole thing happened. My brother was living with him still at the time, and he had just a psychotic break again, and I ended up having to call the cops on him and get him put into jail. And he called me from jail and didn't know that it was me that did it. And I told him, no, it was me. And basically, like, we had a fallout. I didn't talk to my dad for about 3 months. I told him, lose my number. You will never be around my kids again, because I had my kids at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need this in my life. This is not how they're gonna grow up. But then, time heals. He went back into treatment. He actually moved back down south with my grandma. My grandma don't put up with shit.
Yeah.
So she made sure that he was good, and from that point he's been good, and things are happening. And the big thing with me and how this took the toll on me that it did was, like I was saying, when everything started getting better, and it hit me out of nowhere. And as my therapist explained to me, was my body just finally was able to, like I said earlier, just
Yeah.
breathe. And then all that shit that I compartmentalized, straight to the forefront. Oh my God, we just went through this. We just went through this. We just went through this.
Yeah.
And it hit me to, like, and I was just like, like, kind of knocked the wind out of me one day. And I was like, oh my God, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot.
yeah, so like I fell into, so there's a couple things that also led to it. I used to own my own business. I won't get into details about it because it's what it is, what it is. I had a business partner, stuff didn't work out. Ended up having to close the business, and I put a lot of my time and effort, my money into that to get it to work. And then I ended up having back surgery, and I was out of work for a bit, and I couldn't do anything. Ended up gaining more weight because I couldn't do anything. So I was just spiraling into depression. Anxiety came out, and not a lot of, I don't think anybody knows outside of my wife. Oh God, this is hard to talk about. I was planning on deleting myself, as Jay said. I even had a holy shit.
It's all right, man.
Fam.
I wrote a note. To my wife and my kids about it, and I don't know what snapped me out of it, man, but it didn't ever happen like I had planned on it. And I forgot that I had that note, and I found it a few years ago. That was crazy. But it's insane to me to think that before I went and got the help that I did, that I almost did that when I have so much to actually be alive for. How selfish it would have been to leave my kids without a dad, especially with what I went through with not having my parents there growing up, and also leaving my wife with everything to deal with, and just kind of taking that route. Thinking about it now would have been, I would have whooped my own ass. You know what I mean?
Listen, at the end of the day, Spacey, I'm glad you didn't.
Thank you.
I'm glad we both didn't.
Yeah, it's a good thing that nothing happened. Um,
Honestly, bro.
but then again, like I'm just gonna keep going back to it. It's because I was afraid to talk to anybody about it because I was taught to bottle everything up and that I'm a man and that I don't need this and stuff like that. And it was also compiling too from when I had my kids. You know, when you have kids, it's all of a sudden it was like, especially with the situation that I went through, it was like I don't want to put my kids through the same shit. So like I would constantly compare myself, even like the
Yeah.
slightest little thing that I would do
Yeah.
wrong. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm turning into my parents at this time, and I just beat myself up about it. And I know that it sounds kind of cliche because of like all the TikToks and stuff like that that come out right now that are that do like the whole this is everything that going on in a man's brain. Like, am I good enough? It's this or this. Am I providing and stuff like
Yeah.
that? But that's
Yeah.
literally the mode that I was in, to where I was like, am I making enough money to support my family? Am I biding my time between, you know, trying to get, because I need my me time for my mental sake too, but like trying to do that with work, with streaming, with spending time with my wife, spending time with my kids, making sure I have the quality time with them, and just like not thinking that I had enough time for everything, and stretching myself so thin that I was just, and that's where my anxiety came from so bad. But yeah, overall the therapy is 1000% what pulled me out of that. Again, I have that what I just said, only my wife knew before, but it feels good to get it off my chest.
Of course, man.
Definitely, man.
We
Again,
love you,
nah,
Poppy.
thank
I'm
you,
glad
thank
you
you,
shared
thank you,
that.
thank you.
We love you.
At the end of the day, I want people to take out of this entire pod episode that, you know, you're not alone. I've been there. I'm guessing we've all been there. Dre just said he's been there.
We still struggle with it to this day.
And it's an ongoing struggle, but you gotta, you know, you gotta fight back and kick life in the dick harder than it's kicking you, you know. But get like Dre, just reiterating on what we've all said today, is you're not alone. People are here. No matter what. If don't think that you're burdening people, especially the people that are close to you. The people that are close to you are close to you for a reason.
Exactly.
You have friends, you have family, there is professional help. There are things you just don't make the same mistake that I almost made, because I was so opposed to trying to get the help that I needed just because I'm a man, and it was seen as weakness. So where I almost left my kids in basically the same or a worse situation than I grew up in, that I've been trying my hardest to not have them have an absent father without a father. So, and leave my wife alone and my family that's close to me and all that other stuff. And realizing that I am worth more than what I gave myself credit for, and that I'm here for a reason. And if anything, on the darkest days, I think about my kids and how I felt in that time, about how, oh my God, I almost just did that and did that to them. So, you know, find something that's going to keep you going. Talk to people and don't bottle it up.
Listen, you're a great man and an even
you,
better
homie.
father.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's what I want to say. Not even just men, anybody. If you feel like you really need it, or if somebody, you know, suggests it, look into therapy. Look into it 100%. It has definitely helped Spicy. It's definitely helped me. As for me, like I said earlier, I'll get into my more emotional side in the next episode. But for the men that are listening, it is okay to go to therapy. It is okay to cry. You don't bottle it up, because
Nothing good comes out of it.
all you do is you just sink deeper into darker thoughts. and it'll definitely work wonders if you stick to it. If you're committed, it can help you and pull you out of darker spots.
So I just pulled up this quote real quick. It's kind of what I feel like. Sometimes it may feel like when you are struggling or anything like that. It's from a movie called The Replacements. I don't know if anybody knows that movie,
Yep.
but it's Keanu Reeves' character says a quote about quicksand. And the quote is, "You're playing and you think everything's going fine. Then one thing goes wrong, and then another, and another. You try to fight back, but the harder you fight, the deeper you sink until you can't move, you can't breathe because you're in over your head like quicksand." And I think that 100%, when you are so down and you beat yourself up constantly, you feel like everything you're doing is not enough. I feel like that is the feeling that you get where you feel like nothing's going to help you. You're never going to be able to get out or pull yourself out of it because you feel like you're sinking deeper and deeper, like you're in quicksand. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it might not always be perfect because, like I said, I still struggle with it almost every day. I have my days where I'm not my normal self, where I will stare up at the ceiling and just think about 20,000 different things at once. My self-esteem isn't the greatest. People tell me all the time that I'm a good man, or I'm this, I'm
Sexy
that.
man.
But but I always am just like, I don't know about that, and you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, there is a way to pull yourself back up. Just don't think that it's gonna be over. Don't think that there's nothing you can do. There is a way to get back to a place where you can be somewhat happy, and definitely not be in such a bad place like that. It's not easy, and like I said,
Nope.
I still struggle with it every single day. I have my bad days, but I have more good days than bad days. It seems like nowadays.
And you're
Um,
allowed to have your bad days. Again, we're human, man.
but at the end of the day, I have a circle now where if I have a bad day, I have people hitting me up on Discord, through text, through wherever. That like, hey, where you at? What's going on? I might not answer,
But it feels
but
good to get that.
but I will answer eventually. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just know that life is hard. Life is extremely hard. It's not easy to live this life to the fullest unless you're extremely lucky to be financially stable. But then, even then, that's not gonna make you happy at the end of the day. But life is just hard. So just know that you're not alone. Like we've been saying, there are definitely people out there that are going through the same thing. Um, you just got to try your best to make life worth living, because at the end of the day, life is worth living, because life is short. You don't have a lot of time
Damn
on this
sure
world.
is.
You don't have a lot of time on this world, so um, try to make the best of it and reach out, even if it's only one person. If you don't feel like you have anybody, then make that phone call to um, a therapist, or set something up. If you feel like you're at the close point to the end, there is a hotline you can call, which we will post in the
988
bio.
988.
There is people that can help you, or just like with us. I mean, we're doing this. We're talking about a lot of things that we didn't know about each other, that our communities didn't know about us, as far as our streaming communities don't know. And I'm sure probably there's still probably people in our families that don't know that we struggle with this stuff.
Oh,
But
I know that they're gonna be surprised when they hear this one.
Oh man.
but at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, life is hard. But we just need to try our best to make the best of it. And if
Really
we're gonna,
try to You're good.
No, if we're gonna struggle, let's struggle together. Reach out.
I like that. Yeah.
Right
Always
now,
look
where
at
that crack's
the
at.
look
Yay?
at the brighter side of things for real. That I've learned to try to at the end of the day, these problems aren't bigger than what's better in my life. Um, I'm gonna share a quote since Dre did that my grandma told me that I hold on to a lot, and I tell people when they talk to me about certain things is um I come from a very big archery family. We used to do archery shoots, tournaments and stuff like that when I was growing up.
Nerd. Just kidding.
But she told me that a bow and an arrow, you can only the arrow can only be pulled back so far before it needs to be released. You can only be drugged down as much until something good happens in your life. You know, we all have bad days, but something's good is gonna happen and push you forward. Okay. Trey said that we are gonna put the line and all that in the comments or in the info below, but that number is 988. It is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. So if you ever need to talk to someone, those are paid professionals that can take care of it, talk you through some stuff, take advantage of it if you're feeling low, if you have no one else to talk to, if you're too embarrassed to talk to somebody else, these people will help you out. And again, with the world the way that it is right now and how expensive everything is, I do realize that, you know, sometimes in-person therapy is extremely expensive and it's unaffordable. I believe Toldem did the same thing that I did with
We're not sponsored, by the
yeah,
way.
not sponsored. Yep, not sponsored. I was gonna say not sponsored. But betterhelp.com, not sponsored, not sponsored. Was a huge help with that. It's a cheaper thing. They did a very good job of giving me someone that worked with me the way that I needed to. So take advantage of that as well. But yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone.
You are not alone. I am here with you.
I might get in the shower and sing that shit. Don't even
There
play
you
with
go.
me.
We don't wanna
But
get
no,
copyright
for
strike,
real.
though.
Hey, exactly like had said earlier. You got people that love you. Don't ever think that this world is going to be a better place without you, because it's not. You got people that depend on you. You got people that love seeing you, talking to you, just being around you. Don't take for granted the love and the friendships and all that stuff that is around you. The people that are close to you, like I said before, they're there for a reason. They're close for a reason. They're there for you, because I guarantee you, if you're holding something in and you go to your best friend, you go to whoever that person is for you that you talk to about relationship advice, that you talk about job advice, I guarantee you, if you went to them and said, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling right now," they're gonna sit there and talk with you and try to figure out a solution. They're not just gonna tell you to, you know, they're not gonna tell you to fuck off. They're there for you for a reason.
I just saw a quote too. Since we dropping quotes, I like this one more than anything I've seen so far. It says, "Your current situation is not your final destination."
I like that one. I've seen that one
100%,
before.
100%.
I actually love that. Um, so this episode definitely we really wanted to touch on men's mental awareness, but by no means are we excluding females.
No,
If
not at
you've
all.
heard anything that we've said so far and you can relate to it, because I do know a couple of females that when they hear this episode, they're going to sit there and go, "That's exactly how I feel," because I've been told. Um, mental health awareness knows no gender.
Exactly.
So
No age,
we
no
all in
gender,
this.
no nothing.
We all in this.
We all have a mental that we need to take care of at the end of the day.
And if you hold it in, it ain't gonna be good.
So make sure that if you want to share something yourself, or you relate to something we have said, or just anything in general, comment down below. or reach out to us on any page of our discords or anything that you can, anywhere you can find us or anything like that. If you don't feel comfortable publicly commenting, there are ways to reach us. So definitely reach out, definitely comment down below. Just anything in general as far as situations you've struggled with, or if you're dealing
Just
with it.
going through some shit.
Because if you feel like you can't talk to anybody and you want to reach out to us and comment something, then we'll answer back. We'll make sure that we're there for you, because we don't play around when we say that.
We've been there.
We've been there, and we're here for you guys as well, just as much as we're here for each other. And so
I wish
don't
more than anything that I would have had someone that could have reached out or
Oh my
told me that you could talk to me.
God,
So
yes.
now that it's more mainstream to be okay feeling this way, it's good to reach out to the people that you need.
Let me ask you guys one real quick question.
What up?
When was the last time you've cried?
Just right now.
And I'll go last. Okay, prior than just now, but before, like, past tense.
Probably been like a month or something like that for me, to be honest.
yesterday. I wasn't joking when I say I cry almost every day.
Damn.
I need to hug Dre.
So I do, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I do cry almost every day. There are a lot of things
nothing.
about my life right now that get to me, that I feel like I'm not doing enough for the people around me. I'm struggling with a lot, but at the same time, I know that if it ever gets to a point where I need to talk to somebody, I have plenty of people in my corner that I can talk to. But sometimes it gets to me more than I should let it. So yeah, I cry almost every day, man. I definitely cried yesterday because of life shit in general, but it is what it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with that shit, man. I used to come home and I used to just say to myself, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna pour me a glass of wine. I'm
Put a
finna
bath
sit
bomb
on
in the
patio.
bathtub.
That too. Fuck you, don't judge. But like, nah, I just come home, don't turn on any lights, give me a cup of wine, go sit on the patio in the dark with a blanket on my rocking chair and just
Old ass.
fucking let the
The rocking
waterworks
chair, bro.
go. Yeah, bro, got me a
But
little
nah, but
lounge
that's
chair.
It's a good release. It's a
Sometimes
good
you have to.
release.
Told him.
Not
Yeah,
holding
man.
that shit in, man. Changing gears, I think because of the nature of the topic that we're doing today and running longer than our normal episodes, we aren't going to do interests of the week this week. We'll be back with you for that on next week. Told him, I don't know if you got to tell him a moment right now. I feel like you kind of, unless you got one.
Talk about it. Talk about it. That's the main thing I really just want to say. And it may sound just so simple, like, I don't know, you might just sit there and be like, really? That's all you have to say? It's important to talk about it. We've already discussed it multiple times. Just retouched it, wishing we had people to talk to back then about what we were going through at the moment. But late is better than never.
Ain't that the truth? I learned that real quick.
I like that. Talk about it, guys. Talk about
Talk
it.
about it.
Let it marinate with
let
others.
it marinate with others. There you go.
Talk to yourself about it. Just talk.
Just
talk out
talk
loud.
it out. Yeah.
Lay in your bed, look at the ceiling, and just fucking just let it out. No matter what it is bothering you.
100%.
I want to say that I am proud of both you guys for overcoming things that were
proud of
happening.
You as well, bro.
Thank you. I'm proud of
The
you
both of
guys.
y'all.
I'm proud of all of us for showing the vulnerability and putting this out there. And hopefully, like I said, if anything, this helps someone to realize that they are not alone, that there is help, that there are ways around it, that the certain things that we went through as well, with the drugs, the alcohol, with the
Childhood
suicidal
trauma.
thoughts. The childhood trauma is a thing that can be helped. But just remember that you're not alone. Just overall, talk about it. Remember you're not alone.
Also, just remember that ending it is never the answer.
No, because you're only hurting more people doing that.
Uh-huh. Don't worry, y'all. My vulnerabilities coming next episode.
So moving out on that, unless anyone else got anything to say.
Nah, man, I think we did a pretty good job. I think we got our points
Good job,
across.
everybody.
We gonna tell them on next week's episode.
Yep.
Y'all gonna do that, or y'all want me to do it?
So again, thanks everybody for listening to this one. I know it's a heavier topic and it's not our usual lighthearted stuff that we do, but we all felt like it was a very important thing to do with us going through what we've gone through, putting ourselves out there. Again,
Especially
hoping that it helps.
At time of recording, it is June, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So,
yep. So thank you for sticking through that, and again, I hope this helped in any certain way.
Also, Pride Month, Pride Month as well.
Yep.
You can't forget that.
W.
Moving on to so
who you are.
you are loved no matter what. This is a safe space.
Yes.
Next week's episode is going to be all about relationships, the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the not so funny, the trauma dumps that we're gonna have to have. Apparently,
It'll be more trauma dumps, but it definitely will.
It'll be more lighthearted,
more lighthearted than today's episode for sure.
Going off that heavy stuff, it feels so weird to say. Just don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share.
Comment, subscribe.
Tell your friends.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. That's gonna be what we're doing. Thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you guys.
Make
Thank
sure
you
y'all
for
tap
that.
in next week. Tap in.
Yeah. Remember,
love
everyone
you.
loves you. Again, that we're gonna post it, but the 988 number, if you're feeling down, take advantage of it. Love yourself. Thank y'all for marinating with us. We'll see you next week.
Love y'all.
Love y'all,
Bye.
guys.
Love
Be
you.
safe. Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let it marinate, marinate. Dre spicy, told him we don't hesitate. Let it marinate. Turn a small idea into a whole debate. Let it marinate. Then we laugh so hard that the table